All right, we're live. It's Nick and Drake on the post-fight podcast. SCMP MMA, South China Morning Post in Hong Kong. Drake's doing his thing. Yep, I
Yes.
haven't got a gesture yet, man. What do you call that?
There.
Is that the Drake, the rigs?
I don't know. It's a thing. I've stolen it from people. It's nothing new, but I'm just gonna admit it. I don't know what you want to call it. I'm sure it has a name. It's probably got some silly name that I don't know about, but it's the Drake now. Yeah, we'll call it that, man, for sure.
Call it the Drake. All right,
Yes.
everybody do the Drake. Yeah, we're here for UFC 257 preview, aren't we? Anyone out there, please leave your questions, your comments, and all that stuff. We'll try and get to them in between making picks. But yeah, we're here to make our picks and predictions using the Fanatics Fantasy MMA app, which you can download at getfanatics.app or in the App Store. And you can join our SCMP MMA group and you can compete against me, Drake, Chris, JHK, Jasmine, everyone on the site, everyone on the podcast, on the YouTube. We all make our picks. There's a chat
John's
group.
not in there yet, is he?
Oh, yeah. I misspoke. John's not in there because the app is banned in Korea for violent content.
Right.
So John is still unable to make picks every week, but the rest of us are there.
Yes.
So come get involved. You love the app, don't you, Drake? You always made your picks before anyone else, I think. Every time I go in there, you're an eager beaver.
Well, it's funny because like when I first got it and everything, and we were first starting this thing up, they were all there. So I'm just like, well, I'll just get them in now, you know. And then I saw you guys like, oh, we're gonna do it during the show. I was like, that's probably a better idea, you know, for the sake of content. But I've been definitely jumping the gun on everything. So maybe I'm gonna slow down for the next one. So I will wait.
You do you. You do you,
All
Drake.
right. Okay.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, the link is on that ticker there, which I've just put up, the yellow ticker going across. The link to directly download the app and go into our group. It's all there. Getfanatics.app/join/. I can't see it. Just take it there. It's also in the description on this video. Come and join us, guys. It's great fun. I made a killing last night in terms of fantasy points, not money. I mean, there's no money on there. It's not gambling, but there could be some prizes being put up at the end of every month. There's a leaderboard which tells you who's winning and all that, where you're placed out of the whole group. You can make a new group with your friends and all that. I think I'm 5th overall now, which is pretty nice, Drake. But we're in the middle together. I can bring it up on screen here, actually.
Yeah, I slid last night. Had a very bad night. Of course, I'm probably the least in touch with one out of everybody in the group, but it is what it is. A rough card for me. I got the first 2 right, so there's that.
Well, I had a good night. I went up to 5th in the group because I got 5 picks right out of 6 in one championship. It wasn't the best. Darcy Clark, aka Sepilot, hit 6 out of 6. Incredible night for him. I didn't do too badly though. I just got that main event wrong, and I feel like an idiot. But I'm happy. I picked Shinya Aoki. I was pretty proud of that one, even though I nearly backed out at the last minute. And yeah. Mengbo, she won like I thought, and so did Lisa Adewang. Good performance. Where are you, Drake? Oh, I've got to scroll down to find you.
Way down there.
Flipping 21.
Surprisingly, not too. I'm still. Chris didn't move up like at all.
Chris is propping up the whole group. We call it in the basement. You know, he's propping up the house. Okay, well. Hopefully, you guys can get back on track with UFC 257, Poirier versus McGregor. Let's start. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom out. I've zoomed in a little bit there. So, Dustin Poirier against Conor McGregor, the rematch. 6 years in the making. Is it 2014? It was featherweight last time. It's lightweight now. So much has changed for them since then, hasn't it, Drake?
Mm-hmm.
And they actually seem to not hate each other anymore. It's all very, very respectful on stage. McGregor has given Dustin $500,000 for his charity, the Good Fight Foundation, and Poirier gave him a bottle of hot sauce. You know, presents for everyone, good vibes all around.
Yeah, definitely. It was probably not what we expected from this press conference, or at least what we're used to seeing from this group of characters. More so, of course, Conor and maybe Hooker. Thought maybe if there was going to be any banter between people, you know, some hostility, it would have been Hooker having some fun with the other guys because he's pretty, you know, laid back and says whatever he wants. But no, it was pretty chill, good, happy vibes for the most part. Really, I don't think there was any lines of trash talk that I can remember at all.
Nothing. Which some fans were a bit upset. They were expecting typical McGregor, the
Yeah.
McGregor of old, and then some fans then got mad at me in the comments for saying I think McGregor's just being on his best behavior. He's subject to a lawsuit at the moment, and I'm sure his management team have told him don't do anything
Well,
stupid, just be
similar to his
nice.
last fight, man. Like this kind of this. I think it was the same case was brought up a year ago for the Cerrone fight, and he didn't really talk shit for that one either. So it's pretty much rinse and repeat compared to his last fight.
Yeah, but whatever you make of it, it's an awesome fight in prospect. How do you think it's going to go? I see you've made your pick. You are laying it all on the line there, Drake. You've gone for Dustin Poirier. Those odds you could pick up, that could help you get up that leaderboard.
Yeah, that would be nice. And it's funny because as you probably saw in our WhatsApp chat that we have for the gang and everything, this is like this is my official pick that I'm throwing out there, but I still don't feel very confident about it. And my gut feeling right now is I'm getting a John. I call that a JHK gut feeling, where one of those weird out there things. And take it for what you will, but John and I, we both had a gut feeling that we were like the only people to say Brian Ortega was going to knock out Frankie Edgar. We got that one right. And I'm getting a similar weird feeling about Conor snatching a submission at some point. Now, I'm not ballsy enough to actually put that on, my prediction
Yeah.
here, because that would if you want to climb up, that's the pick to go with. Right? Like that's the least likely result that can happen in this fight. But it's like such a weird thing, and with coming over from 2020 and all the weirdness, I feel like that would be so perfect, like such a typical thing that would happen in this case. But I think that Dustin getting a knockout is a safer pick than that, of course, just in reality. And if the fight goes on longer, like rounds 3 and just the championship round specifically, as we've seen Conor has faded in the past, I lean with that, and I see Dustin as being just so underappreciated by everybody, despite what he's done in the time since the fight, his activity, all these things, and that's dangerous, of course, for Conor to get too comfortable. But we'll see, man. This fight can go all over the place, as I just alluded to. Submissions and knockouts for Poirier of all people, because Conor hasn't been knocked out before. So yeah, I'm not at all confident in this, and I have a couple of picks that are me trying to get a little bit something rather than maybe being smart or safe.
Well, that's the beauty of the app and the game. We play versus Vegas odds. So, yeah, if you get this one right, it's a huge pickup for you because McGregor's the favorite there with Vegas, and Fanatics uses all the Vegas odds for these UFC picks. So, Conor, obviously the favorite. Dustin is definitely the underdog. So, you would get not just the pick right, you'd get a bunch of points, which would, help you shoot up that table. It adds another level of intrigue to Fanatics and the whole fantasy picking game, which I really like. But now it's time for me to make my pick. Yeah, I know Dustin. I think he's being overlooked by a lot of people. I know how good he is, but I just can't go against Conor here. I feel it's going to be quick. I think second round TKO.
Ooh.
I'm going to stick my money on the line. You see, I've gone right there. I'm also going to go for the triple or nothing on the method of victory, which you can only do on Fanatics in these main event fights. So
And that killed me last night, man. I didn't realize that because I got the first 2 main events right, like on the dot, and I didn't realize if you don't get the method right, that you don't get points at all. I was like, shit, I thought I'd at least get points for him winning.
It took me a couple of goes to realize that. So I feel sorry for you there. I'm putting my neck on the line because, as Drake says, McGregor might win, but I'll only get the points if he gets a TKO or a knockout, and he'll only get the points if Dustin wins and also by a KO or TKO. So makes things interesting. I'm putting it all on the line though. I've got a feeling I've got good vibes. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Can't wait for the fight either way. We've all had our say on it though. Blaze Jasmine likes that kind of thinking, Drake. There you go.
Make your pick, Jasmine. If you're here with us, get on there.
Yeah. She told me she was researching her pick still. So I had invited her on for the show, but she was still thinking about who to pick. So fair enough. Can't blame her. Hopefully
That's
she
why
can
she's
fill us
doing
in
so
the
good.
comment.
Got to research.
Yeah, triple or nothing, boys. That's it. All right. Co-main event as well. A very tasty fight, isn't it, Drake? Dan
Oh,
Hooker
yes.
against Michael Chandler. I think I'm looking forward to this one even more than the main event. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I love me some Dan Hooker. And again, no disrespect to Michael Chandler, but I just think Dan Hooker is the man for this fight. He's going to be a really bad matchup stylistically for Michael Chandler. A lot taller, a lot rangier, and yeah, no disrespect, former Bellator champion. I'm going for Dan, but you convince me otherwise if you do think, because I see you've picked Drake, you've picked Michael Chandler there. Before I make my pick official, try and make me change my mind.
I don't think I can, man, because it's funny. Like, I completely agree with you. And I was thinking about it literally like an hour and a half ago or whatever before we came on here and everything. I was like, damn, Hooker really is probably the worst possible matchup for Chandler, within the top, maybe the whole top 10, to come in right away. And I was like, oh, I'm a little bit worried for him, just as a guy. I would love to see Chandler come. I always love when people who have worked their whole career for so long and made their name outside the UFC come in and then, make that huge statement and put themselves right into contention immediately. That's exactly what would happen here if Chandler wins. And, been following him for this whole time and everything since that first Chandler fight and everything. But like, yeah, this is a rough one. I would love to see Chandler pull it off, and I'm having faith in him to be able to do it. But it's not at all going to be easy. I think that if he wins, it'll be a split decision. He's gonna get hurt. He's gonna take some big shots. And Chandler, I think, will be able to deliver some too. I think he's probably going to be a little bit faster than Hooker. I think that people kind of underestimate Chandler's speed. He's very quick, very accurate with his punches in particular. Mixes up things nicely with his leg kicks and everything. But Hooker is just so durable. It's like I don't see Chandler being able to put away Hooker. If he does, that would be very impressive. A submission, yeah, maybe. Chandler has fantastic wrestling, which I think he will need to mix in there just to get Hooker thinking and, maybe wear him down a little bit and just as the fight goes on. But I think ultimately there is going to be more threat and more possibility of a finish from Dan Hooker in this matchup as opposed to Chandler, where Chandler's going to kind of need to ride it out and make it very ugly, close the distance so that Hooker can't, use that length because it's really a rough one for him. But again, I'm not confident in this pick as much as I would like to be, but I am going to stick with the faith and hope that he pulls through and shows that, some of the very best fighters are not all just in the UFC as, the casuals will only believe. But yeah, no, man, I don't know if I can convince you Hooker is definitely the man to do this job and break the new toy, right?
Yeah, break the new toy. Like you told John Hyunko
Yes.
on SCMP MMA. Excellent interview. Let's go check it out if you haven't seen it. We've also had an interview with Michael Chandler from Andrew Whitelaw on the channel. And we also had Michael from, or was it Dan, from the virtual media day. So if you need more Dan, there's 2 videos of Dan on our channel. But look, he's minus 150 favorite with Vegas. Look, yeah, I'm sticking with my pick. You did a valiant effort, Drake. You laid it out very well. But I think the main thing I'm thinking is he is very durable, like you said, Dan Hooker. I think it was just Barboza who stopped him, but with body shots, wasn't it really? So Michael Chandler has great team, Sanford MMA, but those city kickboxing boys are built different. I think they have brilliant strategic mind. And Eugene Behrman, I know Eugene won't be there. He's staying home to help train Junior Farr for his boxing match, and obviously Izzy's going to fight in March, so he'll be flying out the day after that. But George Hickman's in his corner, and we love George, of course, on SCMP MMA. It's a dangerous combination I love. So I'm picking Dan Hooker. There you go. Officially, I have picked him. I swung over to the left. That's it. It's locked in now. I do not change my picks, Drake. As soon as I've pressed that button, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not like some of these people who might be changing after the show finishes. Not going to name any names, Chris. No, Chris.
I've only swapped one, and I don't
Sure.
remember who it was. I think it was somebody on this card, but or maybe the last one. Either way, I've only done it once. I'll admit to it.
You do what you want. I got my code of honor, personal code of
I'm
honor.
picking everybody though, you guys. I'm not being,
Yeah.
one of these solo fight
Oh,
pickers, scoundrels out there. Calling you out.
scoundrels. God, imagine if someone just doesn't pick anyone else other than Connor on his card and then gets a
Unbelievable.
win. They're probably going to be ranked higher than me because I put my neck on the line. That's
Right.
what I do for the fans. Well, okay. Jessica I, Jojo Calderwood, women's flyweight. Jojo is -115 favorite. You have gone for Jojo. So has Chris already. Chris also picked Hooker, I should have said, on the last fight. I'm on the fence here a little bit, so convince me, who should I go for? If I'm a neutral, if I don't know who I'm thinking, if anyone out there is yet to make their pick, why have you gone for Calderwood?
This is a fight that JoJo, it's her fight to lose, right? I don't think that there's any reason that she should lose this fight other than, going in there and performing stupidly in terms of fight IQ, just like not fighting smart, essentially. Because you look at this matchup and Jessica I is kind of been somebody her whole career, at least especially at flyweight, who's kind of been, it's going to sound harsh, maybe, but a fraud in the rankings. I don't think that she should have. She shouldn't have been as highly ranked as she has been. And you look at her run in the entire UFC. Honestly, okay, we're going to go through it here. She started off 1-6. If you exclude that no contest against Sarah Kaufman, which I don't even think she should have won that fight. Very close. And then her one win was the TKO against Leslie Smith with the ear explosion. So a little bit freaky there, but a rightful win. Yeah, she got that, but really probably stuck around for a lot longer than she should have. Then she drops down to flyweight. Of course, rattles off 3 straight victories. First time she's gone on a winning streak since joining the UFC and everything, but all not the most impressive victories and ones that you could argue against her, 2 split decisions, and then the Jessica Rose Clark fight, which really came down to like the last minute and a half until she hit a takedown and laid on her to win the rest of the fight. It was close enough to where it came down to that moment there. And then we saw her get head kicked into oblivion by Valentina Shevchenko. And then her most decisive win probably came against Viviane Araújo, who, in hindsight, that's a great one. She just got a fantastic win over Roxy on Wednesday, I believe it was. I'm all mixed up with these events, like you were saying, man.
Yeah.
And then, of course, loses very clearly a shutout, 50-45 to Cynthia Calvillo, who's coming up from strawweight. She's one of those fighters who her strengths are not like strong enough to finish. Obviously, as we've seen her whole UFC run, the only time there's been a finish in a win or a loss for her is against Valentina, and her performances more often than not in victories are not very clear cut. They're very competitive and everything, and we've seen that her ground game is really not at all her best area. Of course, she can make things interesting and close and do well enough to win with her striking and her boxing in particular when she shows up. But in this fight, JoJo, since dropping down to flyweight, or moving up to flyweight, I should say, going from strawweight, we've seen a lot more of her grappling improve because she's known for her Muay Thai everything, fantastic striking back in the day on that run, getting to the UFC, and then before, faltering a little bit and weight issues and whatnot. So if she wants to get into a striking battle with Jessica I think she should definitely have much more tools to utilize and be much more dangerous with whatever she's throwing, and she could beat her there. But if she mixes in her grappling too, that's the right move and the easiest path to victory here. And I see no reason that she wouldn't do that in this one when she's been doing it in this entire run that she's been on since going up to flyweight. So I feel like this is a pretty safe, one of the safer bets of the night, unless JoJo, of course, like I said, fights stupid and just, I don't know, plays it cautious, is a little bit gun shy on the feet. That's the only thing I can think of where Jessica I would then have some advantages, but I just don't see it. It could happen because Jessica I is one of those fighters who she has weird fights, kind of for the most part, but I think it's JoJo's fight to lose, like I said off the beginning. I'll be surprised. It'll be a decision though, because as I said also, Jessica I fights are not often finishes.
Okay. I like the info you've been bringing, Drake. I'm going with you. Yeah, thank you. I'm sticking with you. I'm going for Jojo Calderwood. Look, it's cool to hear all the knowledge, all that stuff, and get you guys to break it down. Sometimes I just like to pick fighters for stupid reasons, and I'm going for Calderwood because she's Syndicate, who Sasha Palatnikov, friend of the show, trains with her. John Wood, I think, is engaged to her, and John is Sasha's coach. So I gotta go with the home team. I'm a homer, so I'm picking JoJo. There you go. I can't have them being pissed off at me. Sasha would be too upset. So JoJo all the way, and JoJo's been saying that she's got a bit of beef with Jessica.
Right.
She's unhappy because Jessica seemingly walking around the PI, acting like she's all that. Bit of a heel face dynamic going on. JoJo's the baby face, I think, here in this story. She's saying Jessica I kind of bullies other people. So if that's true, that's all the more reason to go Team JoJo.
Yeah.
I'm picking Joanne Calderwood. I've locked it in. Chris has also picked it. So clean sweep from the boys here. Just waiting to see who Jasmine picks. But I'll move it on. Okay, we've still got a bunch of fights on this card. Well, we better talk about this. Yeah, Matt Favola.
Oh boy.
And Otman Azaitar cancelled because, how can I explain this? Otman Azaitar, him and his team gave their wristbands, have I got this correct?
Yep.
To some outsiders outside the bubble in Abu Dhabi on Fight Island. And one of these guys snuck into the bubble, and then he climbed up and crawled along 4 balconies and then got into Otman's room in the hotel and then put a bag down there, which no one knows what's in the bag, and then got changed and left, tried to walk out, and it was caught on camera, everything. So UFC not only cancelled this fight, pulled him from the card, they cut him from the entire promotion. Idiotic, really, isn't it, Jake? Given he was a bit of a real prospect. He had done very well in the UFC. Had a good win over Karma Worthy, I think, from late last year. Looked pretty damn good what he was doing, but now his career's in ruins, essentially. There always are other places you can go, but
you know what? I think that incredibly bizarre. I think that this was the fight that I flipped on. I think I had Favola first, and then I went to Azaitar. And what do you know, you guys? Maybe I have a curse. I got this one canceled. That shows you don't flip your picks. Lock it in. Once you hit that button right there, lock it in. But, yeah, crazy story and plenty of memes coming out of this. What's in the bag? Who knows? But what's
in the bag?
Tell us what's in the bag, you guys. One of the absolute stupidest things a fighter could probably do and try to get away with in UFC history. Like, I don't know how you could have thought that would have worked out. And now there's also the question of, Dana said him and his team have been cut. So, like, his brother's in the UFC too. So, I'm not 100% sure if he was there with them. I'm assuming that is the case. If people are mentioning, is Abu Azaitar also cut? But we will see about that. Tell us, John, what is in the bag, man? Everyone's saying weed, maybe some IVs. Who knows? A Nintendo Switch, I saw people say. It's like silly stuff.
some UFC 257 streaming links.
Yes.
That's the joke still going around. Yeah. Well, look, someone is asking, Tristan here in the comments asking, does the app have Matt Favola against Arman? It doesn't look like it yet, so I'll get on to the guys at Fanatics about maybe adding that fight in. I think that's a catch weight, isn't it? Yeah, there should be plenty of time. So we'll get to the end of this card. We'll make our unofficial picks, and then we can go and add them in once the bout is added, and I'll make sure that's ready to go. I still think there's plenty of time, isn't there? Over 24 hours.
Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah. What else is here? John, you should have been on this live, says Dorji. Yeah, John.
Well, you got a problem with us, Dorji?
Don't like us? Jake and Nick, the dream team. He wants the dynamic trio.
Yeah, of course.
Terrible trio.
Yes.
Matt versus Arman is on. Yeah, I can't see it on the app. I better double check, but it's not showing up in my first.
I don't think it's on mine either.
Let me talk to them about it. I'm going to watch the fights actually at their office. So yeah, they're putting on a little spread, which should be fun. alcohol at 7:30 in the morning. Should be good.
Attaboy.
Yeah, better abstain. It's going to be a long day, long night. Well, let's just go to Marina Rodriguez against Amanda Ribas. Love saying those H's instead of
Excellent.
R's. Yeah, I mean, I just used to say Rodriguez and Ribas, but John Anik was giving it the real H sound on the weigh-in, so maybe that's right, and I'm wrong. I like this fight. Marina Rodriguez. I'm gonna. Chris has gone for Amanda. You have gone for Marina. I'm on the fence again. Tell me why I should go for Marina, Drake.
I absolutely love this fight as well. This is a very good one, and another one of those cases, maybe the biggest case on this entire card of a fighter who's being overlooked, and that is Marina Rodriguez by far. I don't think she's getting enough love whatsoever in this matchup. Kind of understandable because of how much of a star that Ribas has become and is still becoming, and just so likable in and out of the cage and everything. But there's just something about Marina Rodriguez. When you look at her striking, in her career, her UFC run, okay, it's like every single fight where the fight is primarily on the feet and they're in a striking battle, she's winning very, very clearly. She's been just dominant when it comes to the striking department against everybody that she's fought. And the only reason that she has her 2 draws, and let's look at those 2 draws, for example. In 2 rounds, she dominated on the feet and then got dominated in one of those rounds, 10-8 on the ground. So we absolutely know what her weakness is. It's the ground game, her takedown defense, all of that. And then in her loss, of course, that was against Carla, who there was absolutely no parallel universes out there where she was going to lose that striking battle. But Carla, of course, in the wrestling department, far superior. And that's how she ended up winning that one. How Carla ended up winning that one. Marina also, I think, has fought much better competition to this point than Amanda has. And just when you stack that up and you see what Ribas has been able to do, she's very well-rounded and a very good striker in her own right. But I think that she's probably best on the ground. You look at her top control and her submission game, just very, very lethal stuff. Like that Randa Marcos fight that she had was just impossible for Randa to get her off and was landing some very nasty ground and pound. I think that the best path to victory, of course, would be for Ribas to try and take her down because there's no need to play with fire that Marina Rodriguez has proven to be with, not just her Muay Thai in the clinch, but at distance, like everywhere on the feet. She's been practically unstoppable, and I think that she is better than Ribas in that area as well. And the thing about it is Ribas sounds like she wants to really prove in this fight that she is a good striker and show off her striking more because her last win, came her last couple, the Page and the Randa one, those were more so showing off her ground game and everything. But if she wants to go in there and engage with Rodriguez, I don't think it's going to be a good night for her. And the thing about Rodriguez too is she's aware of how good her striking is. So at this point, like from the Carla fight to now, you got to think she could only just forget about everything else in her training camps except for wrestling defense, like takedown defense, grappling defense. That's all that she could work on up until this point, and she'd still be a better striker than, these 2 opponents and everything. And I think that she's definitely working on that and going to continue to improve off of just the proof of that's how her fights that she's lost or gone to draws has been close. So I think she's going to continue to have improved in her defense, and then she'll be fine for the most part in the striking. But of course, Ribas is good enough to surprise us. But I like the underdog, man, especially being so overlooked. I think she's fueled by this spot. So a massive opportunity for her to steal the shine from Ribas on this card too, where so many eyes are going to be on it. But like Rodriguez, man, I think this is perfect for her.
All right, Arthur in the comments. Arthur Antonio Nguyen. What's up, Arthur? Good to see you again. He says no one gives love, to Marina is because she's disappointed so many times, never fixes her takedown defense. If Amanda fights out the striking, it's getting too dangerous. She's just going to take Marina down.
You would think,
yeah. You make a good case, Drake. I'm going for Amanda Ribas. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to do it.
Don't be sorry to me. Tell it to Marina.
Sorry, Marina. Yeah, I know you're listening. I know you're watching. Yeah, I've got to go with Amanda here. Arthur makes some good points. I've got a feeling I'm tempted to go for Marina because look at those odds, right? Strong favorite with Vegas and on the app, Amanda Ribas, -325. 92% of Fanatics users on this app have chosen Amanda Ribas to beat.
Wow.
Yes, only 8% are going for Marina. So look, you can really, really
The
get
eight's probably just me.
Yeah. It's heavily skewed in the SCMP MMA group as well. Look, get the app. You can see all of these odds, way more odds. This is just a temporary browser thing the guys at Fanatics have made me. But in here, you get like both girls' fight records and history. It's way more detailed. It tells you everything you need to know to make your pick really well. You'll be really well informed. I'm just thinking Ribas is doing it. I'm tempted because of those odds. I might be able to game the system a little bit, pick up some underdog points there, which will shoot me up that leaderboard. But playing it safe, I hate to admit it, I'm just going to play it safe with the favorite. I'm going for Ribas. Okay. I think we had a question. Is this the first fight on the main card now? Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, it was to begin with.
So have they moved anything else onto that? If we got one more on the main?
They moved up. What did they move up here?
Tavares and
no, Sanchez and Muradov. That's what it is.
Okay. Just because we had a question from who is it here? Dorji asking us. He says, my picks for tomorrow's main card are Ribas, Mahmoud, Joanne, Dan, and Connor. Guys, what's your most anticipated fight besides the main card? Yeah, so I mean, we can get onto that in a bit or before we go down. Are there any prelims you're really excited for, Drake?
Yeah, man, I'm really excited for, let's see here, just because they are pretty good. Probably Sarah McMann and Juliana Pena, just because I've been, a big fan of Sarah McMann pretty much her whole MMA career. I just love strong wrestlers who are like pure, legit, fantastic wrestlers from outside of MMA. Of course, the silver Olympic medalist that she is, and she's back. It's been a full year since she's been in the octagon, so looking forward to that one. And we'll get into that soon here.
All right, and it wouldn't be a post-fight podcast without Paguru asking a really random kickboxing question. So here we go. Bit off topic, but please take it. Ask Drake who wins. Capitan v. Takeru.
Well, I appreciate it always, Paguru. My man got those out there questions. I love those ones. Capitan, I didn't get to see his performance last night, but I have seen him before. Of course, he is very, very good. I'm not sure what is his weight? Are they the same size even? Nick, do you know what his weight is?
I would not know.
Off the top of your head? Okay.
Paguru can fill us in the comments there.
Yeah, either way. Capitan, very good, but of course, I think that we've seen him in more competitive fights in his career than we have with Takeru. Takeru has been, essentially flawless for most of his career. And is proven to be, I think he's shown a lot more fluidity to his overall game. So it's hard for me to go against Takeru. He's similar to Tenshin in where he's not in that realm of you can't pick against him until you see him lose, because we have seen him lose, but he's very close to that kind of guy. So same size bantamweights. Okay, wasn't 100% sure on Capitan, but that would be a great match, of course. But I'd have to favor Takeru, but no doubt that would be a fun one. I love that fantasy matchup.
Yep, Capitan won big last night. Cost me my perfect record.
Yep.
Damn you, Capitan.
Same.
Yeah, he ruined.
Had him by decision. You couldn't have held on, rode out the fight.
He had to get that KO. Yeah. TKO. It was a great performance though, but didn't he came down for that fight? Didn't he from 2 weight classes? I mean, he can't be a natural bantamweight. I think he would be a lot bigger than Takeru and Tenshin.
Yeah, because he fought was it Georgie or who, I'm forgetting who it is.
What, last night?
No. Previously, I'm totally blanking on his name. Oh well, one of the Evolve guys he fought a couple of years ago or whatever. Oh well.
Well, we thank you for the question, Paguru.
Yeah.
Always welcome. We love mixing things up here on the Post-Fight Podcast. We'll go back to the card. We got Brad Tavares and Antonio Carlos Jr. middleweight bout. Chris has gone for Brad Tavares. Drake, you've gone for Antonio. It perfectly split again, so I get to ask that question. Who should I pick? Why should I go for Antonio?
So this fight, I love me some Brad Tavares, and shoe face for the most part. Brad Tavares, of course, was a guy who really began to find his footing. I think get on a very nice winning streak, 4 fights in a row before running into Israel Adesanya, and then being just obliterated by Edmund Shabazi in a UFC 244 was live for that one. That was an incredible performance, and never seen Brad really stop that way outside of the Whitaker loss, of course. And I don't know. I think it could be a point where he's kind of age might be catching up with him a little bit. He's not that old, obviously, but he's been around for a long time. It's maybe not age catching up with him, but in fight years more so. Fought a lot of powerful strikers, taken a lot of shots. Brad's kind of in that similar water to Jessica Ai, where a lot of his fights don't generally end in finishes, whether it's winning or losing, but more so losing, which is never good. So he's taken a lot of damage over, the course of his career, especially in the UFC. And Carlos Jr. is a guy who used to be a heavyweight. He won the Ultimate Fighter Brazil at heavyweight, and he's at middleweight now. So he's a big, strong, powerful guy. Phenomenal jiu-jitsu. He's very, very dangerous on the ground. And Brad Tavares is kind of a guy who's just very well-rounded. Doesn't really have one specific strength, I would say. So he can fight pretty much everywhere, but he's not exactly great in one area over the other. Of course, Carlos Jr., his is his BJJ. That's his area of expertise. But he's shown to be pretty capable on the feet as well. Hits hard, like I said, but just his last 2 fights have been kind of strange. I think he knows that he needs to bounce back and make some adjustments after how those last 2 fights went. And he's just more dangerous. I think he's got his jiu-jitsu. If he gets it down, Brad's going to be in some trouble, and I don't see any reason that he shouldn't be able to get it down. It's a very interesting matchup for both guys and the spots that they're in the division right now, but just Carlos Jr. much more dangerous, I think, in pretty much every area, because Brad isn't much of a finisher.
Tristan says, I think ACJ takes it back and gets a submission. Oh, I don't know who to go for. I'm really, really stumped here. 43% of Fanatics users on the app here have picked Carlos Jr. and 57 are going for Brad Tavares. Tavares is the favorite, obviously, so do I want to? This could be the one where I risk it, I think.
Come to the dark side.
I'm going with you, Drake. I'm coming to the dark side, yeah. I'm swinging to the right there. I feel like, because I don't know, and I'm really, really on the fence, and the odds are not,
too crazy.
It's pretty tight. I think I can risk this one here. So I'm going for it, and if I get this one right, then I'm in the money, the fantasy money. I'll be in the points there.
Mm-hmm.
Be shooting up that leaderboard. I'll be SCMP MMA group also going heavily or leaning more towards Tavares. So take your pick. It's pretty tight, that one. Anyone else, who have you got in the chat? Let us know. Otherwise, we're going to check out this next fight. So we've got Juliana Pena and Sarah McMann, women's bantamweight bout. Nice even split again. Chris has gone for Pena, and you've gone for Sarah McMann, Drake. Tell me why. Tell me why.
Oh, yes. Throwing it back to the 90s. Gotta love, that's what you get with us, you guys. You get fantastic references. So, Sarah McMann, Juliana Pena. This fight, I think, is a mirror matchup in the sense that these ladies pretty much do the exact same thing in the octagon, except Sarah McMann just does it a lot better than Juliana Pena. Just in terms of technique, in terms of strength, I see Sarah McMann as what Juliana Pena could be. Like, of course, both very good wrestlers. Juliana Pena is not the best striker. It's gotten better over the years, but not great. Sarah McMann's boxing has improved a whole lot just throughout her career, and she is just one of the most powerful bantamweights of all time, probably. Of course, she doesn't have a whole lot of like one-punch knockouts or anything, but she's done plenty of damage throughout her career on the feet and on the ground, of course. And she's got submissions in her back pocket, good with arm triangles. I think that she said that's her favorite submission. I could see her getting one here again. The thing is, I don't see Juliana Pena being able to out wrestle Sarah McMann or bother her with anything on the feet. It's just a matter of her. Pena has to get really in her face and maybe make it a very ugly, fight against the cage, a clinch fest of sorts. But even then, I don't think she'll be able to outmuscle Sarah McMann. I just really don't see. I think this is a terrible matchup for Juliana because, like I said, Sarah does everything she does just a lot better. That's what it comes down to. I think Sarah will be able to bully her pretty much wherever this fight goes. But yeah, the age, good point there. But we haven't seen it yet.
Arthur's pointing out about the age. I am very on the fence again here. I don't know who to pick. 57% of Fanatics users, Drake, have gone for Juliana Pena.
Wow.
43% for Sarah McMann. So, again, look at these odds. I think I might be able to pick up something here. Oh, we don't have the odds on this one. That's strange. Okay. Well, looks like it's 50-50 on the app. So I better check with them about those odds. If you're watching, Michael and James, there are no odds on Pena v. McMann. But I'm imagining if 43% have picked McMann, she's the underdog in this thing. So I see a little opening here to make some ground, get some points. I'm going to go with Sarah McMann, yeah. Okay. Oh, I really don't know, though. I'm just worried I'm disagreeing with Greg. Yeah, it's very tight, this card. Okay, let's go down again. So, yeah, as I said earlier, George Hickman has come over to corner Dan Hooker, but the reason he accepted that is because he was already going with Khalil Roundtree Jr., I think. So, easy decision for him to step in and cover Eugene, who won't be cornering Dan. So Khalil Roundtree Jr. against Marcin Prachnio. Drake and Chris, you've both gone for Khalil. He's a strong favorite, minus 360. I'm likely going to side with you. I like the look of Khalil. And Marcin is on a 3-fight skid. But as we saw with Jachirko in midweek, or was it last weekend, he knocked out Buckley, who was on a tear, a knockout merchant, after losing 3 fights in a row. So that's no indication, is it, Drake? Often guys on these 3-fight skids, they got something to prove, haven't they?
Yeah, no, they definitely do. Back against the wall mentality, man. I talk about it all the time. I think when people realize, oh shit, this could be my last one if I don't pull it off. And arguably, when you're in that spot, that maybe should have been cut already because Prachnio has not at all had a good UFC run. It has been very, very bad. I think all of those are finishes. I know the last 2 were, but yeah, he just has not looked very good in those losses. Mike Rodriguez, of course, Ankalaev, who's a monster, and then Alvi knocked him out. Yeah, that was three knockouts, I'm pretty sure. So very rough. And then a very rough matchup with Khalil, who we know when Khalil is on point, as we saw in that fight with Eric Anders, my goodness, he is a serious problem. But that's the big question. Will Khalil come in on point? I mean, his last fight, I think he didn't fight at all last year when he lost to Kutelaba. I think that was late 2019 or whatever. So we haven't seen him in a while. Took a little bit of a break from that loss, and that was kind of one of those moments where Khalil has proven, to be a bit hot and cold. His cold is very cold and his hot is very hot. That's how it's been so far. But if we're gonna look at that track record, the pattern, he should show up here and look like fire, because if we're going to follow how things have gone, and just this matchup, I think favors him very well. And I would be pretty surprised if Prachnio pulls this off, but crazier things have happened this fight. He should definitely be the favorite, but it's a little bit of a coin flip in terms of who knows, because there's those, it's all about the mentality of both of these guys. I think that's really the big part of it. But looking at everything on paper, this is absolutely another case where this is Roundtree's fight to lose.
Yep, as you were saying, Prachnio, he was on a 4-fight win streak in one championship, moved over to the UFC, and it's been 3 first-round finishes. He's lost a terrible run for him in the UFC. If you check out the app, it's got full fight records with all the details like topology and all that. I haven't got it on the browser here, but Plenty more info in the Fanatics Fantasy
Everything
MMA
you
app.
could need.
Download it now. Everything you need. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not gonna try and pick a. I'm not throwing a. This is a safe bet. I think Khalil Roundtree Jr. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't win this. So I'm playing it safe. He is a strong favorite, -360 with Vegas. And look at that, 90% of users on Fanatics have picked Khalil. That says it all. SCMP MMA group, pretty heavy as well. I think this is a you might if you won, you'd do very well. You'd pick up a lot of points there. You'd be a big win, but it would be a huge shock to me, Drake, if Khalil didn't win.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew Sanchez, El Dirty against Mahmoud Muradov, a middleweight bout. Chris hasn't picked this one yet, but you've already made your pick. You've gone left for Andrew Sanchez. I'm inclined to agree with you, even though Muradov is on a real streak there.
Fantastic
Tell me,
streak.
Yeah, why shouldn't I go for him?
So I kind of just love Andrew Sanchez, man. He's one of the first fighters that I ever, kind of interacted with getting into this sport and everything. And it's like that moment with John. Shout out to John and his interview that he did for the channel here. But one of the funniest moments, like in MMA interview history, I would say. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go. I'm not going to spoil it. Go watch the interview. But El Dirte Sanchez. That's all you need to know too. His nickname. That's the kind of funny guy that he is. Yeah. But he's the guy. Also, it's funny. We just talked about Khalil, but Andrew Sanchez is the guy that beat him to win the Ultimate Fighter 23, I believe. Yeah, I think it was season 23. There's so many seasons. Beat Khalil at light heavyweight. At middleweight now has not quite lived up to maybe the expectations that we had, even though there weren't that many expectations off of that season in that division anyways between those fighters as compared to strawweight where Tatiana Suarez came out of that. But Andrew Sanchez really got off to a little bit of a slow start. He was one of those guys who looked really good in his fights for the most part, and then kind of choked at the end, like that Anthony Smith fight. If you remember, he did fight Anthony Smith, and he was winning pretty much all the way up until he wasn't, right? Like the third round, Anthony Smith came on and did his thing. That was kind of the rise of Anthony Smith late in his career, as we've seen. But Andrew Sanchez in his last fight, that looked like a new guy. Like he looked phenomenal against Wellington Turman, and I think that he's kind of finally really putting it together. And if he can carry that momentum over, I see no reason for him not to be able to knock off Muradov. But this one, I'm not as confident in this pick either, because Muradov has looked very, very good, and he is on one hell of a winning streak in his own right. So many wins I can't even count them just by looking at it right now. But he has not lost
13 fights in a row.
Jeez, and since 2016, that's pretty insane. Of course, though, he didn't fight at all last year, so bit of a gap in activity there compared to what he's used to. Obviously, 4 fight cancellations in 2020. So poor guy has been just dying to get back in there. So that could be either very good, come in on point, or it'll be too eager, overly aggressive against somebody like Andrew, who is putting it together, like I said. So I'm just going to go with the guy who's hot and we've seen more recently, but I would not at all be surprised if Muradov pulls this off. But El Dirte, how can you not love that guy?
Yeah, I was very impressed by Sanchez last time out, against Wellington Turman, who was looking like a bit of a prospect out of Brazil, wasn't he? So, and the loss before that was to Marvin Vettori. So no shame there. It was a unanimous decision, and we've seen how good Vettori is with that win against Jack Hermansson. So other than that, two wins before it. You can see all the highlights, all the details are on the app here. This is a really tough one for me to pick again. 79% of you on Fanatics have gone for Muradov, and only 21% have picked Sanchez. I think this could be the one where, I might be able to game this app a little bit. I think I'm going with you again, Drake. Safety in numbers. I'm going for Sanchez. El Dirte. I think he had it didn't work. There you go. He had the look of someone who was a little bit reborn last time out. He seems to be putting it together.
Must be the mullet.
And it must be the mullet, I think. And obviously, like you said, John did an interview with him, a really fun interview. And that also helps inform my picks sometimes. And if guys do interviews with JHK, I tend to just pick them because I have weird reasons, as I said. So I'm going for Sanchez.
that
I might get
inside?
that one wrong. Inside, yeah. That's a tough one though. I could easily get that wrong. And Jake and I will be going down together because we seem to be
Yep.
just picking the same fight on each. Have we differed yet today?
Yeah, yeah. The first
Mm.
couple. First
Oh
couple.
yeah. Okay. So, well, I have a feeling you're right, Drake. So I'm gonna follow you. It
Well, I
might be
appreciate it.
blind leading the blind though.
I am legally blind, Nick, so
Oh, are you?
not great eyes. We both
Uh, oh yeah, we both
don't
got the
see very
specs on.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. At least yours. Mine have super glue. I don't know if you can see it. They're
Oh,
broken, the frames. So I need to get new ones.
yeah, that'd be good.
Drop them on the floor. Yeah. First I sellotaped them, then I glued them. A little bit
Whatever
sturdier. The
works,
glue.
man.
Yeah. All right. Nick the Carney Lentz against Movsar Evloev. Catchweight bout here again. Drake and Chris, you've both gone for Evloev. He is a very, very strong favorite, -700 here with Vegas.
Wow.
Is there any case I can go for Nick Lentz?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that there is because Nick Lentz is one of those guys who just an absolute veteran at this stage in his career. 36 years old. He's been around since, man, when did he start in the UFC? 2009 here. So he's been in the UFC for a long, long time. Fought practically everybody, been in plenty of battles. One of those guys who's just like a straight up grinder. He will get the win no matter how he can, whatever best suits him. Of course, he's a very strong wrestler as well. But Evloev, this guy kind of looks like he could be a bit of the future. Looked phenomenal in that Mike Grundy fight his last time out. And Mike Grundy, a very serious prospect in his own right. So Evloev is got pretty much everything in his favor. The youth, just the skill set, his technique everywhere is looking very good. Nick Lentz has never been too sharp, of a striker or anything like that. Of course, he's very tough, very durable, but he's getting up there. And, of course, no shame in his last two losses. Charles Oliveira, who, we know that he's the real deal. We always knew he was very good, but Charles Oliveira, then Arnold Allen, who is another contender at featherweight, was able to, get the win there. And then Evloev as a step down compared to those two guys in terms of prospect and contenders that Lentz is going to be fighting. But Evloev is just, I think he's kind of, that next wave of guys. And Lentz, unfortunately, it's this time catches up with you and everything at some point. I don't know if he's there quite yet because he didn't get knocked out against Arnold, but a clear loss. So it could be, he could be gone after this one. So that would be unfortunate, but hey, it happens.
Yeah, I told you I have really strange reasons for picking fighters sometimes, and this one might be the strangest yet today. Nick Lentz retweeted my interview with Teal Tang and Ong Lan saying, I don't know if there's some kind of connection there from the Hard Knocks days when they were before Stanford MMA was Hard Knocks, or when Ong and Teal used to train in Baltimore. I'm not quite sure the connection, or if they're just homies, or if he just likes Myanmar. He likes
Yeah.
watching those guys. Very entertaining. Obviously, Teal fought last night. I don't know the result. I think it'll be broadcast in 2 weeks' time. We'll definitely have them on for another interview. But I know. I think Evloev's going to win this. Look, you've laid out a pretty good case. Would you be tempted to just whack a bet on that? Because look at the odds there. If you get some kind of upset here, you could probably leap to the top of the table in the overall group. If Nick Lentz pulls out an upset.
Yeah, no, that's the reason to gamble, right? That's the whole point. That's what we would be doing is gambling on Nick Lentz. That's the whole point of it there. Depending on how you're feeling about, all your other picks that you're making and whatnot, of course, there's always leeway, I think, for one where throw in one that obviously is not like the very good choice, which is probably this one, or whoever else is a very big underdog. So depending on how you're feeling about all the others and everything, yeah, go ahead and drop some here. And even if you just, of course, can't recommend you to legally bet or anything, but if I was to do it, let's say I would, I would probably throw some money down on, well, I don't know. I don't feel very confident in him here, but whatever the minimum is that you can put into bet. Sure, I would do it if I was a betting man, but I'm not much of one.
Yeah. Tristan says Evloev's a lock. And Lentz is 36 now, too. He points out. I'm just gonna go. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna go the other way. So I'm with you guys. I'm with you. Some comments here in the chat. Sorry, I missed a bit earlier. Who did we have here? We got Arthur was talking about Marcin Prachnio, saying thankfully Marcin's chin is not great and Roundtree's power is great. Roundtree's been knocked out before, but I think Walker got that nice power that Prachnio doesn't have. Prachnio was really good in one, says Tristan. Yep, looks like he was undefeated there in 4 fights, but Khalil for Tristan as well. Khalil is Bangkok ready, says Adam H. Arthur enjoys Muradov striking. Maybe Sanchez will make this fun by trading, which is fun for me, but probably not the smart game plan. Thank you guys for all the comments. We got a few more fights still, I think. There are 11 overall on this card. That's one more fight. Amir Albazi against Zalgaz Zhumagulov. The flyweights are back. Chris and Drake, you've both gone for Amir already. 12-1. He is minus 115 favorite with the bookies. So I'm leaning towards Amir as well myself. Tell me why. Tell me why.
Tell me why. This fight is this one might be the toughest one for me, honestly, that I had to pick. And as you can see here, the odds are very close. They're very close. You know, the odds makers agree with me a little bit.
Yeah.
Zalgas, you know, his last fight against Relian Paiva, that one, it was incredibly close. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think that not quite a robbery, but one that a lot of people thought Zalgas should have won. And I think I might have been on there. I don't quite remember exactly, but I remember he did very well. And that was his UFC debut, of course, coming over from Fight Night Global before getting wins over former title challenger, you know, Ali Bagautinov. And then, of course, he beat Tyson Nam. So we've seen that he's beaten some pretty good guys outside of the UFC already. And then as for Amir Albazi, we've seen what he's been able to do too. He's been very solid so far as well. Of course, only that one loss right there. I don't know. This one, it just kind of... It's a really a coin flip for me. I like the submission ability and the threats that Albazi has shown. You know, he's been able to lock up things from pretty much everywhere. That triangle against Malcolm Gordon was very nice. That was something you love to see because we don't see triangles very often these days. But he pulled it off excellently in that fight. But yeah, man, this if I was to flip flop on one, this would be one I might go back on. But like I said, I'm gonna lock it in now after getting a fight canceled. It's on me now, you guys. You can blame me. So I'm just going with Albazi as my coin flip pick. I feel good about Zalgas pulling it off, but I don't know. If I could pick draw on this one, I would do that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I will point out that 77% of users on Fanatics have gone for Amir. So yeah, only 23 for Zalgas. But Vegas has it very 50-50 almost. So I just don't know. I do not know. Anyone in the comments tell me Drake hasn't convinced me either way. Tristan here saying, I think Zalgas Zhumagulov, should be top 15 over Amir Albazi. So, Tristan, are you going for Zalgas? Yes, he is. Tristan thinks Zalgas is a live dog, but always takes it to questionable decisions. All right, Tristan, you convinced me. I'm going to take a little risk here. I'm going for it. I might be able to pick up some points. I haven't taken too many risks tonight, so I'm throwing one out there in the first fight on the card. So I could get off to a terrible start, which never sets a good precedent, does it, Jake? When you lose your first fight, it usually just goes downhill from there.
Yeah, generally, yeah. Well, I had it be in reverse last night. I got off the first two fights rolling, and then it was downhill from there. So you never know. You really never know.
Yeah. Well, we will try and get back to the guys about the rescheduled fight. Sorry, the Frivola and Arman fight. I guess we can make our picks now unofficially. We don't have the app to do it. Who would you go for in that? It's a catch weight, isn't it now?
Yes, Sarukian and Frivola. Man, that's a very interesting one, and especially, of course, when they're just fighting each other without any specific game plans for each other. Just a fight that's being thrown together because their opponents dropped out, which pretty wild situation and worked out for them. Of course, still getting to fight. Everybody is incredibly high on Sarukian, which I understand it. He is shown to be a very legitimate prospect at this point. His skill set with his grappling is very good for his age, but I look at his competition and I'm not like super sold on that yet. Like, yeah, he's looking very good. A little bit reminiscent of what you could say for Hamzat, of course, just not as dominant. Got to get that out of the way. Nobody's been as dominant as Hamzat, but Sarukian is showing flashes of a future contender at some point, but I want to see him against some better guys. And Frivola, that's a solid name, probably one of the better ones he's fought so far. Of course, he did fight Makhachev, which was the one that put him on. I think that was his debut, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me see right here. Yeah, Makhachev in his debut, which I don't remember if that was a late notice fight or whatever. That seems like a weird matchup for Makhachev at the time and everything, but everyone was very impressed with him despite losing in that one. For Vola, this guy, though, he gets counted out a lot, and I'm not quite sure why, because, his last fight was very good. His last two fights, Jalen Turner and Luis Pena, good wins there. Went to that very fun, draw with Lando Venata. Before that, got knocked out by Polo Reyes, which was his only loss so far. And, Polo's kind of a crazy guy and can catch you, so I don't think that's the worst loss in the world for him. I like Frivola. In a lot of cases, I was leaning towards him, like I said, against Ottman, but then I flopped. I think that when it comes down to just the pure skill and what we've seen from these guys right now, I'm going to lean with Sarukian, and I think that it benefits him to have this fight and them not being game planning for each other, just going at it blind, essentially, and then just going skill for skill. Sarukian and his grappling, I think that'll be the X factor. He's shown just to be... his technique is very, very good for his age. So I'll go with him. I'll ride the hype into this one, but I still want to see more from him before we write him as the next coming of lightweight champion or something.
Yeah, I think I'll join you on that. I'll make the pick official once it's in the app. I'll tell the guys to get on that. Yeah, okay, that's the whole card. If anyone else, if you have any comments or questions, get them in now. Otherwise, Drake, I guess we'll...
I have one, Nick.
Yeah,
you got some new art in the background, I see.
Yeah, this is My Neighbor Totoro, right?
I don't know.
Have you seen that? Yeah,
no, I like it though.
It's actually my ex-girlfriend. She left it here when she moved out.
Honestly, like this would make a good background piece.
Well, it's been sitting over there, and it's been hidden behind something for a while, and I like it. Yeah. I like the film as well. So I brought it out. I've been trying to mix things up a little bit. Yeah, I'm looking to invest in a ring light and maybe a green screen as well.
Yes, I flipped my background today because I wanted to see if this would work. And what do you know? It does. It works.
Oh wow!
Is that funny?
What did you do?
It's you can do the green screen thing. Let's see. So see, I flipped it inside out, and it's got the green there, so I can go. Look, it's a living room. Wow. Of course, it looks better with the brick right there. So now I have half of a green screen with the DX logo.
So it still gets the DX logo. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't think
I'm going to leave the brick on now, actually.
It does not work for me. I mean, look at this. That is not... Is it changing? No.
I can't see it. You're still
on. It's not working, is it? Oh, yeah. That's right. I don't have a green screen, so it's not actually doing anything.
Nah.
No. None. We'll leave it on none. I will try and invest in the green screen, but it means I'm going to have to change the angle. I do everything.
Yeah.
And can you hang it and go in two directions? Because I've got a corner here.
Yeah, I think they have. It depends on like the kind of I don't know, the whatever like bar kind of thing that it's hanging on. If you can get one that's rounded maybe or something like that, I'm sure that you could figure it out. But yeah, green screens aren't too pricey. It's usually the fucking setup that they have that'll get you.
Yeah. Well, look into that. Anyway, thanks Drake for joining me and making your picks. And no, it's a pleasure to get your knowledge and insight and we'll see who does the best. We'll be back with a recap on tomorrow evening or afternoon, whatever it is, and we'll have the leaderboard. We'll see who came out on top tomorrow and who is now on top in the overall leaderboard for the month. It'll be really fun. Yeah, and good luck to all the journalists out there who are going to be covering it tomorrow. It's going to be a long day, I think. A very long day. Cannot wait, though. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier. Jake's gone for Dustin. I've gone for Conor. Who you got, guys? Make your picks on Fnatic Fantasy MMA app. You can see the link in our description. Also, don't forget to give us a like and to subscribe. We are steaming towards 14,000 subscribers. We are about 13,860 something at the moment, which is awesome because at the turn of the year we were on 12K, and John and I had a hope that we would get to 20K in 2021 or something like that. So
plenty of time.
It's not even the end of January and we're nearly at 14K. I like that. So keep it going, guys. Spread the word. Thank you all for commenting and interacting again as always, and we will see you again next time.